Hello, Ajahn. Ajahn, you have no sound. I've asked you to unmute.
Now I can. The host is not allowing participants to unmute themselves. But anyway, I've unmuted.
Yeah, I'm going to make you co-host.
Yeah, I'm unmuted. Yay. How are you, Freddie? Nice to see you.
Ajahn. So, hello everyone. Ajahn is here now. May I invite everyone to pay respect to Ajahn?
Okay. I see Gerald there. Okay. Only got 13 participants so far.
Yeah, 14 now.
14, okay. Because 13 is an unlucky number.
14 is another unlucky number in Chinese.
Oh, really? Okay, let's get 15 then.
Ajahn, I'm going to wait for another few minutes before restarting.
Fair enough.
So Ajahn, looks like you're in Dhammaloka.
Yes, well done.
Nice. So the internet should be fine, I guess.
Yeah, should be.
Thanks, Ajahn, for going to Dhammaloka just for us.
No, it's not for you. I was teaching on Friday night and Saturday.
Oh.
But anyway, this is, I'll be here today. I've got to go and get the arms round at 10:30 and be fed. So that is fine.
Great.
But just while I got you there for the afternoon session, it's at 3 o'clock, not 2 o'clock.
3
Okay.
o'clock.
Okay. And you can, have you got an MBM video at all to do? That's new people respond to video, or you haven't got that one?
I haven't planned that. Or
Okay.
do you think that's a good idea?
Well, I don't know if you got one at all. I'm not sure. That was the original one which I got from Gerald to do a.
I know there is one from BS3.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure if that's the one. Maybe I should confirm with Gerald. Or...
Yeah, that's right. Confirm with Gerald. Gerald is unmuted now.
Finally, good morning, Ajahn Brahm.
Good morning, Gerald. Good morning.
I was trying to say hello to you, but I was muted.
Okay, it's a very hard thing to do that to you, and I'm sure you'd find a way to get around it.
Thank you very much for taking the time to lead us today. Good to see you after a long time.
Yes.
And please unmute Della as well.
Yes, her birthday. Where's she? Della, where are you?
Okay. Mute her.
There she is. Good morning, Della. So I have to ask this. How old are you today?
I'm still 25. Amazing.
Okay, that's okay to do that now because I haven't given you the precepts yet. But afterwards we give the precepts.
Okay. Then I'll tell the truth. Okay, the truth is 26. Okay.
26. Very good.
Or the other way. 62.
62. You know how old I'm going to be next month?
I would say you look 30, but I would guess 40.
No, next month I will be 852
days.
No,
months.
Months.
Okay, months. Sorry.
So I had my 850th birthday last month.
Okay, I see. So how are you celebrating?
800. If I celebrated with cakes, I'll be dead by now.
I know.
So many cakes.
Tiny cakes.
Tiny cakes. Okay. Hi.
So it's good to see you on my birthday morning again.
Very good. Yes.
Yeah, I love to see you in person next year.
Well, this is close enough. It's only 5 candles, So you see them on a screen or you see them live, not that much different.
Thank you.
Yeah, very good.
Thank you for taking time to lead us today.
Very good. Lead us where?
To somewhere. Somewhere.
To your last birthday. So
Oh.
you don't have to have a birthday ever again.
Oh, that's a good wish on a birthday
Yeah.
morning.
Yeah.
To celebrate my last birthday.
My last birth. Yeah, that's the best
Right.
way of doing it. So
Exactly.
you can do 3.
Okay, sorry everyone, I have to interrupt
Yes.
your
Thank
very
you.
interesting chat. Let me unmute you.
Yes,
Okay.
it's 8:30.
Okay,
Yes.
you again. Okay. Okay, I've mute everyone. Okay, I'm going to unlock. Okay, mute everyone. Sorry. Okay, so it's 8:30 now. Hello everyone, and welcome to the DOK, Day of Kindness. First thing first, I would like to apologize for having CC'd everyone instead of BCC participants on emails. And I mean, we totally understand this is a security breach. I trust you are all acting in good faith, so please don't spam other people or further leak out everyone's email addresses. And second thing is a small selfish pledge for me. Please don't panic if Ajahn has dropped off the internet. In case, I believe Ajahn shouldn't because he's in a good internet place, but probably I will be very busy fixing the situation if that happens, and I cannot read all your messages or taking any phone calls. So it's like telling a fireman that, oh, there's a fire, please put out the fire. Just let me do the work. So instead, if you have messages, you can send to my co-host, Jean. Sorry, Jean. Okay, thank you, everyone. So I'm now going to give a little introduction about Ajahn Brahm. Ajahn Brahm was born in London and trained as a theoretical physicist at the University of Cambridge. He is a disciple of the late Ajahn Chah, the eminent Thai forest monk regarded by many as a meditation master. He is currently the abbot of Bodhinyana Monastery in Serpentine, Western Australia. So welcome, Ajahn Brahm. The floor is yours.
The floor, you mean the internet, is mine.
The internet is yours.
Yeah, very good. Excellent. So for the first talk this morning, it was going to be all about ready, steady, not go, because we spend too much time going places. Ready, steady, relax. Learning how to let go, let things be, and allow this moment just to teach you what is happening right now. A lot of time when we want to go somewhere else in order to find out truth, we find that we're always going somewhere else. And we are a community of people who are always going places, but never actually enjoying where we already are. And sometimes where we already are, that's where all the truth, the wisdom, the kindness, and especially the peace actually is. So a lot of times, the last time I was in Hong Kong, I just remembered I hardly saw any human beings. All I ever saw was human goings somewhere, doing something, trying to reach somewhere. And when they reached wherever they were going to, then they carried on going somewhere else. And it's just like one of my friends over here. He caught me out a few years ago, and I had some papers in my hand. I was going into the office to photocopy some of them. And he asked me, where am I going? And I said, how are you? And over here in the West, when people say, no, how are you? Often we reply, we're getting there. And then he was very smart. He was an ex-monk. He said, where's that which you're getting to? And I realized he caught me out. That I know where I'm going to. Where I'm going to, there are 3 crematoriums in Perth. Eventually, a long way around, this way, that way, but eventually that's where I will end up, being cremated somewhere. So next time they ask me, where are you going? I say to one of the crematoriums. It's a long distance. I don't plan to do that this year or next year or the year afterwards, but that's where I will end up. So instead of that, I decided when anybody ever asks me that, where are you going? I always say, I'm not going anywhere. I'm just being here. And when you learn how to relax like that, you're not going anywhere. You're just being here. It does change a lot of how you live your life. I even say that I went on my first international flight a couple of weeks ago to Singapore. Only a very short couple of talks, but it was the first international flight which I had since COVID. And so when I went on that, people always ask me, just, is it tiring for you going on an aircraft and flying somewhere? And I replied very honestly, no. When I go on an aircraft, I don't fly. The aircraft does the flying. I just do the sitting down and relaxing. I don't know how to fly. That's what the aircraft does. And I changed the perception that when I'm sitting on an aircraft, I'm just sitting, just like sitting in a monastery or sitting here in front of a computer screen giving a talk. I'm just being here. I'm not going anywhere. And that makes the situation so much more easier and restful and relaxing. And sometimes people say, oh, well, when you relax, when you don't do anything, you don't go anywhere, then what happens? Are you not being irresponsible? And certainly as a monk, as a meditation teacher, I am being highly responsible. I'm being responsible to my monastic vows and to my inclination as a meditator. In other words, to find some peace. You don't find peace anywhere in the future or anywhere distant from you. You don't find it in the past. The only place you can find peace is right now. And the only way you can be right now is learning how to relax into the present moment. And when I said relax to the max, that was something which many people feel it's a joke. It's not a joke. I do tell jokes. I must confess that. That is my conditioning from my father, who was always telling jokes. But nevertheless, that here we're being quite serious, learning how to relax to the max. And that's important, that when you start meditating, you do feel relaxed and you feel safe. Many times people go into a meditation retreat, or they go into a meditation hall, or they even go to listen to a Dharma talk by somebody. And many times people feel so tense, as if like people are watching you and you have so much rules and regulations to keep, which means you can't really relax to the max and allow those teachings to go inside of you. Often we reject some of them. We're like very tense and only certain things we can allow into our consciousness. But when we learn how to relax, it's amazing just what you learn and amazing what you can retain, how good your memory can become. I remember learning that, when I was born, obviously had some things from past lives and stuff. But when I was at school even, I could always have a very good memory. That's why I never worked hard at school, but I just kept on passing the exams. And the reason was that when the teacher would actually give the lesson, I would always listen silently. I would relax when I was listening to the teachings. I wasn't scared of anything. And because I wasn't scared and because I relaxed, it's amazing just how much of that information I absorbed. I absorbed it so well, I thought it was just a good memory. It wasn't a good memory as much as a good way of relaxing and listening when a teacher was giving their lesson. And that made life so much easier for me when I was a student. In fact, I'll tell you a little anecdote. I was only 11 years of age at this time, and I'd already, got a scholarship into a really good school afterwards. This was last year in my primary school. And my father came home from work. He had the afternoon off work, and he told me that he had got 2 tickets for Wembley Stadium for a World Cup qualifying match, England versus Poland. I was only 11 years of age, but I liked football in those days. And said, oh, isn't it a shame that I have to go to school this afternoon? I'd love to go and watch that soccer match. And I said to my father, I'll ask my teacher, see if he'll let me go off in the afternoon. And I did that. My father was waiting in the school playground, and I went up to see my teacher and said, excuse me, Mr. Jones, that's his name. He was a disciplinarian in the school. So it was quite frightening, but I was doing very well. And I had some kind of confidence in me. I wasn't scared of him. And I said, excuse me, Mr. Jones, my father's got these 2 tickets to go and see a football match this afternoon, England versus Poland, World Cup qualifier. Can I go? And I think he was shocked that I would have the nerve to ask. But because I was coming top of the class anyway, he said, oh, don't see a reason why not. Off you go. And so I got the afternoon off school as an 11-year-old to go watch a football match. All my friends were so jealous of me. But I wondered how I got away with that. It was a ridiculous thing to ask when I was given permission. It's because I knew how to relax, no fear, and just say what I wanted to say, which was, I was doing so well at school anyway. Missing an afternoon wasn't really going to cost me much. And he said yes. So he saw a wonderful afternoon of football. And I remember that England won that match, I think 2-1. Anyway, I remembered some things, but this was just a simile of what happens when you feel safe and you are relaxed and you're not worried too much about what other people think of you. And then you could have a bit of fun in life, not just in life, but in Dhamma and in meditation as well. A lot of times that when we listen to even suttas, we listen to a Dhamma talk, can you really, really, really be relaxed? Or just wanting to wait till it finishes to go and do something else? One of the reasons why I quite like doing these talks on Zoom, because if you don't like it, you can just keep it linked on, then go off and do something else, and I don't know you're not looking. The same with me in meditation. When we do a meditation, I can actually freeze the screen, and I can just go off and do something else, and you think, wow, Ajahn Brahm, he meditates so peacefully, he doesn't even move because the screen's frozen. But anyhow, the most lovely thing about the Zoom is much less intrusive. You're not caught in a room. You can leave if you want to leave. And you don't feel embarrassed about it. The body relaxes much more. And when it relaxes much more, it's much easier to be able to communicate with people, much easier to communicate with yourself. A lot of times, if the meditation room or the meditation hall or the meditation teacher is scary, of course, people feel tense. And when they're trying to be mindful of their body or mindful of the breath or something, what they're really being mindful of, what they can really see more than anything else, is the tightness and the tension in their body. And in life, when you talk to somebody, can you really relax and just basically, I was going to say to be yourself. I mean, to be your non-self, to be your 5 khandhas, and just to be who you are, instead of trying to put on a face, trying to put on and live up to some persona. Instead of doing that, this is who you are. It's much easier just to relax and see what happens. And if you relax to the max, Oh my goodness. I just got an apology here from one of the retreatants here. Apologies for eating my breakfast. Great, relax and eat your breakfast. It makes you look very, very happy. I had my breakfast earlier. But whenever we are, I think that's one of the reasons why people are happy listening from me, because I'm not going to tell you off. I'm not quite sure if I've ever told anybody off, even though that some of the monks really deserve it, but I just can't do it. They know what they're doing, and you have to trust them. And when they're relaxed to the max, it's not as if that something doesn't happen. They feel at peace, they feel safe. And even like living as a forest monk, all the animals feel safe, which is wonderful to see. You know, the snakes, obviously the kangaroos, and the what's it called? Oh, when I was in Newbury Buddhist Monastery, that's what we're going to be raising funds for later on. In Newbury Buddhist Monastery, there was this incredibly beautiful fox, very young fox, and it would come to the Sangha quarters where the monks were staying in the evening. One of the monks would feed it by hand. And actually, it's beautiful to see that, this little fox. You know, nobody likes foxes in Australia. They're not supposed to be here. They were introduced species, and they do actually kill many other species. But they're here, and the monk was feeding it by hand. It's a beautiful fox. And so, you know, it's wonderful to see animals which should be afraid of you, humans who should be afraid of those animals, and just one of the monks feeding it. And I get criticism for saying that, because people say just encouraging just the degradation of the wildlife. Yes, you are, but you're also creating this beautiful scene of compassion between two different species who can actually get a lot of joy from one another. There's plenty of food for the fox in the forest, but giving it some food, you know, leftovers from the kitchen, is something different. It's looking after one another, two different species. And the animals aren't scared of you, and I often wonder why. And the reason is because they feel safe. You know, they're not threatened. And when they're not threatened, they can relax. And of course, when they relax, you know, they just quite often in Bodhinyana Monastery with lots and lots of kangaroos, you know, I have to get off the path. The kangaroos there looks up, oh, it's only him. And I have to get off the path and go through the bush. Of course, I'm very happy to do that. They were here first. But when you are relaxed like that, not only can you feel a lot of kindness, and that kindness is reciprocated, you feel you're welcome in that vicinity where you are, but also you can feel just how peaceful life can become just when you learn how to relax to the max. Even just your body, the aches and pains which it has. I am fortunate, I haven't had COVID at all yet. And who knows in the future, but I've been a healthy monk. And I sometimes wonder how you can be healthy. And a lot of time is learning how to relax your body. In other words, when you don't stress out, you don't sort of pull at your body. I say pull at the body because that's a metaphor, that's how it feels. In many of the meditation teachings which I've given, I often compare what we call stress and resilience, two opposite sides of something. And I use a simile of a guitar string. If you pull a guitar string, if you stretch it, put it under stress, then anything hits it and you get a sound, bing. But when you loosen that guitar string, so there's no tension on either end, it becomes totally loose, same thing hits it, and there's no sound at all. It doesn't affect it. It's resilient when it's not under stress. And that little image I found very helpful. I know that if I want to stay healthy, I'm not going to stress out about anything. I'm not going to put my body under tension. I'm going to relax it to the max. When I relax to the max, of course, the body stays pretty healthy. And often I can feel that happening. in the body, you feel like tightness is somewhere. I feel a bit of tightness in my back right now because I'm not in a good posture. But if that was in meditation, I'd focus on that, go right inside it, and relax it from the inside out. And relaxing from the inside out, just being totally kind to it. Relaxing and kindness are two of the same thing, two sides of the same thing. And to be able to relax to the max, I might as well say being kind to the max. Kindness is not just one quality. You can tick the box, I've been kind. How kind have you been? What is the power of that kindness? And sometimes, that, especially after you've been meditating a lot, sometimes that kindness is huge. It's so powerful. And I'm not really supposed to say about weird stuff, but sometimes that kindness is so great that sometimes you can put it on inanimate things. I remember just going, okay, here we go, going to Oslo once. And when I was in Oslo, from the airport, going out of the airport to the place I was going to give a talk that night, there was a queue from the car park because the boom gate had been stuck down and they couldn't move it. They couldn't get out of the car park. So they were calling up the operators of the car park. They wouldn't be able to come down for a while. I just go over there and zap the machine with loving kindness, and it comes up straight away. And other people saw that, oh, Ajahn Brahm, we have to keep you here for a long time because you know that sometimes this happens often. They need a bit of kindness there to interact even with machines. That's weird stuff, but I've seen it happen a few times. One of those other times over here, I was walking back from doing a blessing service just around the corner from Nolamara Temple. And as I was coming down, just right in front of our center here, there was some of the young people. They just finished the youth group, but they were going down to the beach. They're young people, and they could open the boot of their car. And so when they saw me coming down the road in their direction, they said, "Oh, Ajahn Brahm, you've got psychic powers. You can open the boot of our car for us." And then I told them, look, if I, the owner of the car, if I open the boot of that car, will you become a bhikkhuni, a fully ordained nun? They didn't think I was serious. So she said, yes, okay, I'll become a nun. I'll become a fully ordained nun if you open the boot of the car. She thought it was impossible. They'd been trying for half an hour. I took the key, put it in the lock, and turned it with lots of loving kindness. And the first time it opened up straight away. And that poor girl, she was terrorized. Oh no, I didn't think you could do that. Now I have to become a nun. But fortunately, it's nice to have good friends, because one of her friends in that youth group was a lawyer. And she said, well, she promised she'd become a nun and she has to do that now, but she didn't say when. So she got off on the loophole. She didn't have to say when she was going to become a nun. So she's still a lay person now, and I won't hold it to that. Just one day she'd have to become a nun. But the amazing thing is that you can actually do that with some kindness. And just zap the machine with kindness, and it works. So how do you get that degree of kindness? It's learning just how to relax the mind so much. You don't want anything. You just, real kindness is not coming from may all beings be happy and well. That's actually having like a demand, doing a deal. This is the outcome I want. Real kindness, you just have this beautiful energy of warmth, being with things, making things feel safe, not abusing, not demanding anything of anybody, not even of a machine, not demanding you have to open. Just kindly, you can open if you want. If you don't open, boot of the car, that's fine. Real kindness. And that has a power to it. And that's why it can only happen It can only really be generated if you learn how to relax to the max. And that's the same as, I have lots of responsibility now, but I relax with it. I don't demand things from our committee and from all the other people. The committees, this is the nature. They always try and do the very best because they are feel responsible. And my job is to say, oh, relax, it'll be okay. And if you all have to go to jail, that we're right next door to you. We'll always be behind you, the monastic sangha, because the jail in Bodhinyana Monastery is just 6 kilometers from the local jail. So that if you go to jail committee because you're irresponsible and do the wrong thing, make a mistake, that's wonderful, because that we'll be able to visit you every day. But anyhow, relaxing to the max, even keeping precepts. This is my 48th year as a monk. It's a long time in any profession. So 48 years. And people sometimes ask, isn't it a burden to be keeping all of those precepts for such a long time? And the answer is, actually, it's the opposite. It's like he feels these are natural things that a wise person would do. To be kind to animals and not to have many possessions and to live simply and eat only in the morning time. And many of you have seen me. I'm still very round, which means if I ate in the evening time, that would be terrible. I'd just explode. But just even with food and eating, so often what happens, this is, I'm being truthful now, and when people come, they bring all sorts of food, and they look at me, they come such a long way to bring this food. I feel it's really being disrespectful if I don't eat some of it. So a lot of times I eat way too much. It's not because I'm hungry, it's because they need to feed me. It's not what I want. It's just recognizing what they want me to, or what they need to do, to be generous and being kind to somebody they respect. I have to respect that back. But I'm healthy enough. I have enough exercise. So this is learning how to relax to the max. And then you find you're more resilient. You're less demanding of other people, less demanding of yourself. You become much more peaceful. And your precepts become stronger. You don't want to do anything, not say anything which is cruel or harsh, which hurts other people. Even when they make a mistake, people know they made a mistake. They learn from it. If I tell them, they're missing the opportunity for actually to figure it out for themselves, which I always think is the best way of learning. Very rarely would Ajahn Chah tell me off, because when I did something wrong, I'd know straight away that this was not correct. That's the way I learned. But if he kept telling me off, I would avoid him. I'd be scared of him. Instead of being scared of him, he became like a very loving guide, who would always be there for you when you needed him. But you were not afraid to tell him what was happening, because he would give you good advice. He wouldn't scold you or hit you or anything. So that showed just when you do relax and you feel safe, that's where learning can happen. The great relationships you have with a teacher can only really be there if the both of you can feel very relaxed. You can share anything with one another, knowing that you won't be told off, everything will be shared. Not shared in a good way, but you won't be humiliated or anything. Now, recently, that this time, I'm not quite sure what's happening in Hong Kong, but many other parts of the world, it seems, that so many people are losing their positive attitudes in life. And I always encourage to be positive, except in one thing. Always be positive, except when you take a COVID test. That's a time when negativity is the best thing. But that positivity which people used to have, that realizing that there is a good world, that people are kind, they're loving, and that there's lots of things we can do to make even a better world, a more peaceful world, a more harmonious world. That seems to be sort of disappearing somewhat, and people are far more critical. The old story of the two bad bricks in the wall always comes up because that's the best, because it happened to me personally. I laid those two bad bricks, and it caused me a lot of suffering for so many months until you could see that the mistake wasn't in the bad bricks. It was I just could not see the good bricks in the wall. The same with what's happening in the world, whether it's wars or politics or economy, whatever is happening there in the world, it always happens more or less. And this time maybe it's a little bit worse than usual, but nevertheless, there's so many beautiful good bricks in our world, people doing wonderful things and wonderful opportunities. And I know when I do stop being critical or being negative and just learn just how to relax, it's amazing just what good stuff you can see, what opportunities you can see to make a better world. And that's actually one of the great wisdoms of learning how to relax. You don't just see things in one old way. You don't just get a victim and get in the prison of negativity. You can also see there's more to life than thinking of all the things which can go wrong. There's so many more opportunities can actually happen. But I don't know if this is an appropriate story, anecdote, but I remember reading this in a magazine years ago about this man, he's about 40 or something, and he'd been in prison most of his life. In the United States, there's very harsh conditions inside some of those prisons for minor crimes. But his origin was at 4 years old. He ran away from home because he was being abused. And the only way to survive was for him to steal and stuff. So he got into bad ways of livelihood. He was put in some foster homes or orphanages and stuff, but they were not very moral. So he was always escaping, getting into trouble here and there, and then joining gangs in San Francisco. And then after joining so many gangs in San Francisco, was another session in jail, and he was coming to the end of his session in jail. And that was when his case officer said, "I know a friend of a friend who could maybe give you a job." Now, honestly, how can you give a job to somebody who's been in jail for most of his life? And what does he know? And what's his skill base? And she said, but the person who can give you a job is a director, a film director, who's making a movie about criminals. And he wants to make it authentic. In other words, I think I can get you a job as a consultant on a gangster movie. But you should know about that. That's your skill base. So he got this gentleman, or as soon as he was released from jail, a job as a consultant in Hollywood. And the director of the film, it was Quentin Tarantino, his breakthrough movie, his first big success, Reservoir Dogs. And this guy, an ex-prisoner, was so good because he knew how real criminals acted and how real criminals would speak. And eventually Quentin Tarantino gave him a part in the movie. Of course, I've never seen that movie, but apparently his name was Mr. Pinky, and he was one of the standout performers there. And the film was so successful that after just this one job as a consultant and as an actor in a movie, he got so much money from that movie. He moved and stayed in a big mansion in Malibu, which he owned, and he couldn't believe it. He wrote this article. He said, about a year ago, I was in jail with no hope at all, no possibility of making any money or serious money legally. And now look at me. I'm in this mansion with so much money. And just the karma turned around so quickly and so easily. Possibilities which you think are impossible actually can happen. And that's a nice thing. Yeah, you see two bad bricks in the wall. The poor fellow, didn't have a proper family ever. And now he was living in a big mansion, very at peace with himself. That is like the possibilities which we have. That's why I'm saying that if you keep looking at the two bad bricks in the wall, there's 998 beautiful good bricks in the wall. Can't we see those? If you do, that gives you this wonderful positive attitude. And when you get that positive attitude, then that allows other opportunities just to appear for you. And when those opportunities do appear, you can feel you're good enough to take them up and make it work. So a lot of times that when we are negative, we're blind to seeing good things. And when we're blind to seeing good things, it's like, no, that's where we get depressed, and that's where we basically break precepts and stuff. You know how many people have drug problems or alcohol problems, and the reason they have those is because they don't feel good enough. All they see is the bad bricks in the wall. And there's many more good bricks in those walls, and that's, the nature of my life. Doesn't matter how hard and difficult it is, something will happen, and we'll be able to do something. If I can't go visit Hong Kong, at least I can go on the YouTube and visit you live on a video screen. And it also means that I don't need very much to have like happiness in this world. I don't need to steal, don't need to kill, don't need to have any sexuality at all, don't need to lie. It's so easy to keep precepts. In fact, I think it's like common sense. And so after a while, that sila, the basis of a Buddhist life, being a good person, becomes natural. For 48 years, I don't know what I would do to even try and break a precept, but I think that's possible. But then that gives a very powerful foundation for your meditative life. It's not you force yourself to keep precepts. It's not you hide things or you say no to things. It's just you don't even think of taking those things in the first place. But the mind is relaxed. It doesn't feel any guilt or remorse. And because it's relaxed, it doesn't feel remorse or anything, what happens is that it's easy to meditate. And sometimes people say to me, I find it difficult to meditate, thinking too much, too sleepy. I just can't break through to deeper states of meditation. Why? Can you teach me a better method? And I say, yeah, I'll teach the method of the 5 precepts. By learning how to be naturally good, kind, gentle, learning how not to fight things, but to be at peace with things, learning how not to fight your own body or your own mind, but being at peace with your body, being at peace with your mind, being a good friend to it. If you have a good friend and you trust each other, you'll never hurt one another. You'll never try to control one another, but you'll be able to be together at peace. You don't want to go anywhere because you're at ease with that person. You feel safe with them. It's the same with meditation. When you learn how to relax to the max, you close your eyes and to start to go inside, you have so much kindness and relaxation with your body and mind. My body feels so good when I meditate, even much better when I come out of meditation. Never feels as good as after I've been into a really good meditation. Then the body feels just. Now, honestly, I got to restrain myself because sometimes when they get into a good meditation and afterwards the body feels so good. I feel like volunteering for the marathon race of the Olympic Games. Sometimes you feel that your body just, you've been kind to your body, now your body wants to be kind to you, and it says, I'll do anything for you. Ajahn Brahm, my body says, if you want me to do a high jump, I'll do that easy enough. It just, that energy, that lack of resistance from your body. And that's how it actually feels. What's actually happening there, even in the suttas, I just show that I'm not just making this up. That last Sunday, I was reading out the Nalakarpana Sutta. It's one of my favorite, 68 in the Middle Lake Sayings. And there it says, when you have deep meditation, it's not only the 5 hindrances disappear for a while, but also these 2 qualities, tandi and arati. Arati is like discontent. You just don't have discontent. Whatever's happening, if it's something unpleasant, it's something to learn from. It won't last. If it's something very pleasant, yeah, that won't last either. But it's enjoyable. The whole of life becomes enjoyable. And when arati, the discontent, is just not there. It disappears for a while after deep meditation. Just one happy little meditator. Not only that, weariness, this word tandi. And that's one of the reasons why people do get depressed. They get so weary of life, weary of washing the dishes, weary of listening to a Dharma talk, weary of getting the internet up and running so other people can listen to this day of talks and meditation. We get weary of things. Now that's not the nature of the thing we're doing. It's just the nature of our mind becomes full of hindrances. It doesn't have the spark, the energy of mindfulness. And once you do get that spark and that energy of mindfulness and kindness very strong, you just got excess energy. Just not excess, but I mean like extra energy, weird, strange, powerful, good energy, which you can make use of. You have more energy in your mind. And even just the discontent. But things can be very painful. They can be very difficult. Yes, of course they can. But just as the Buddha said with the 2 thorns simile, you got the physical thorn, you can't do much about that. It's going to be cold, it's going to be hot, it's going to be wet, it's going to be dry, it's going to be a booming economy, it's going to be a depressed economy. But that's life. Everyone goes through that. But the attitude you have towards it, that's not the physical thorn, but the mental thorn, how we react to it. And as the Buddha pointed out, that's the major cause of suffering. And if that emotional response thorn is taken out, and you're more at peace with life, no matter what life is, you find that life doesn't hurt half so much. Somebody dies, you get a sickness, you lose some money, things don't go the way you wanted to. That emotional thorn is just not there anymore. At least it's lessened. And then you can be far more at peace, far more resilient. And this is actually where you get your good meditations from. It's always wonderful to find a place which is peaceful, which is comfortable, where you can just sit down there in a body which is at ease and not have to be disturbed by anything, where there's no mobile phones or internet or anything. It'd be wonderful to have those places. But they're getting harder and harder to find in our world. They're not necessary. Sometimes that I meditate, got no choice, meditate in noisy places. But I have this learned over many years to actually to not interfere with the noise. The noise is there, but I don't really listen to it and go very peaceful inside of me. Just like sometimes people might be watching a TV. I remember this when I was a kid. Somebody might be watching a football match on the TV. And I remember my dad used to do that. And my mum would come up and say to her husband, darling, come on, you have to come to dinner now. He wouldn't respond. It wasn't he was ignoring her. He just couldn't hear because his mind was so absorbed into the football match, he couldn't hear anything else. And that's what we can do even in our meditation, to absorb in the breathing or in the peace, because it's delightful, it's enjoyable. You're relaxing to the max, and that relaxation is so attractive. It draws you in. You just can't hear what's going on outside. I think you all know just personal stories because sometimes they can be more powerful. The personal stories of the mosquitoes in Thailand. I was a Westerner. I wasn't used to mosquitoes at all. And then you were put in this jungle and meditating from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. every evening with Ajahn under the trees. People think, oh, that must be so beautiful, delightful, in pure nature, just sitting under the trees in the jungles with no sounds of any traffic. But you had other sounds. Buzz, 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 buzz. And I don't know why the mosquitoes do that. They don't just want to bite you, they want to torture you, first of all, by going in your ear, buzz, 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 announcing, and that's mosquito language. I'm going to bite you. I'm coming for you. And you're a monk. There's nothing you can do about it. I'm going to hurt you. It's really sadistic, those mosquitoes in Thailand. But anyway, there's so many of them. I mean, we used to count them. Get 70 or 80 on your arm at one time. It's a lot of mosquitoes. And the only thing you can't just sort of kind of ignore them and say they don't exist. They did exist, but you go inside. So you went into your breath, just feeling your breath. And at first you could feel that those mosquitoes, but they were distant from you, like you were in a cave. And they were outside the cave. They had disappeared. And then you just went deeper and deeper. The peace of the breath at that time I was doing a lot of. And the breath became so peaceful and delightful. Just like my father watching the football, but this is something much better than football. Just watching the breathing. And then, of course, my father couldn't hear my mother. And I couldn't hear those mosquitoes. And I couldn't even feel them. And so he went deep inside, even though it wasn't the best place to start meditating. I always remember experiences like that, even when it's noisy. I just kind of go inside the noise and just go into a deep place right in the middle of that noise so it can't reach me. And then that noise kind of feels like it's disappearing. I'm really at peace. And this is actually how you can meditate anywhere when you can relax to the max. And of course, you know, what happened afterwards, that if you do relax to the max and your metabolism goes down, and when your metabolism starts to become very soft and peaceful, then the mosquitoes can't find you, because the mosquitoes, they notice you by just how much carbon dioxide is coming out of your pores. And if you have a low metabolism, they just can't see you. You disappear for them. That's why after a good meditation, you come out afterwards, there was no bite marks on my shoulders or head. I thought that was magical. It wasn't magical, it was just natural. When the metabolism goes down, they just can't find you. So that relaxing to the max allowed me the freedom to get into deep meditation. I relaxed into the present moment to the max as much as I possibly could experience. So you're just here. So you're all very busy people, and people say, "Oh, you're a monk, you're not busy." You bet I am. But they're always opening up new monasteries, because Buddhism is expanding, which is wonderful to see. Its benefits are being very well known, and so when we do sort of all this extra hard work, sometimes people think, "How do you ever have time to meditate?" Of course, you have time to meditate. It's always these moments, which you have, even just 5 minutes, an hour. Go to bed later and just meditate. First of all, get up early and then meditate. I prefer meditating in the morning because many people don't get up as early as I get up, so I've got free time at that time. I'm not bothered by people. But anyway, then you do have enough time, and it's much easier to get into meditation when you are relaxed. When you are so relaxed with your body and you just don't tense up against each other. The body doesn't feel that you're going to exploit it and make it sit still for a couple of hours. You work with your body. You find out how your body can be comfortable. And then the body is very happy to be with you all this time, and then just gets so still, you can be with your mind. And my mind, again, become a friend with it. You can't be a friend with someone who's not relaxed. But when you have somebody who's really, really, really relaxed, it's easy to be friends with them. You don't need to purify one another. You just need to be relaxed in each other's company. Then you hang out together. So the mind doesn't go wandering off anywhere. It's happy to be with its best friend, me. My mind and I have got a wonderful relationship. So many years of being together. So much so that you can close your eyes and your mind and you're just with one another, really relaxed to the max. And all these incredible meditation experiences, they just come to you. You don't do it. I don't tell my mind what to do ever, no more than I tell Gerald or anybody what to do. Maybe give some nice advice, but if you follow it, you don't follow it, I'll still be your friend. The same with Della. If you're 26, I'm not going to argue with you. That's how old you want to be, fine by me. So all these little ways of being friends with one another. You see, we're relaxed. We don't force one another. And then that's why it's very easy to be friends together and hang out together or chill out together. And that's what happens when you just close your eyes and start meditating. My mind and I chill out together. It doesn't wander off anywhere. We enjoy each other's company. And I've also noticed that sometimes good friends don't have to even talk to one another. You know each other so well. We just like hanging out together. That's what happens with my mind and I. We relax to the max so much that we just sit here quietly, enjoying each other's company. And everything gets so still and so peaceful. And also so enjoyable. It's nice being with a friend. And so my mind and I experience all these incredible joys and blisses of our mind. And that's, those are the jhanas and stuff. And because of that, it's not just for the bliss of it. Where did that bliss come from? What's the cause of it? Why do people suffer so much? And as the Buddha says, one of the causes of suffering is here I am, that's where I want to be, that's suffering. Imagine if where you want to be is where you already are. Now that's a lot of suffering vanished, not the whole lot of it, but a huge amount. That's one of the reasons why in meditation, one of those little tricks which I've taught before, are you happy to be here? If you're not, you're suffering. And that's not meditation. If you are happy to be here, but I'm in a terrible place. Oh, shut up. Stop judging it. Be happy to be here, wherever here happens to be. Then you'll find you're making peace. You're being kind. You're being gentle. And making peace, being kind, being gentle, where you actually are, you find will become a lovely place. Never really appreciated where you are right now as a place of just total bliss and peace and wisdom. The reason is because by being happy to be where you already are here anyway. You might as well be happy to be here. And that is the path to get deeper and deeper peace. Not wanting something for the future, but contentment in this moment. And you can be content with almost anything. So when you're content in this moment, the mind just opens out, becomes blissful, becomes free, incredibly still and peaceful. Becomes peaceful because you've got nothing to do. You're happy being here. You've arrived. Once you've arrived, you can rest. Once you rest, the awareness grows and grows and grows. That's the other thing, which is one of the teachings which I've emphasized. The kindness and the mindfulness, it's not just one thing. It's just like light. Yeah, it's daylight now in Hong Kong, but how light is it? at noon is incredibly light, much lighter than it is at dawn. That's why even the light increases in intensity. Mindfulness increases in intensity. Kindness increases in intensity. So when you're very strongly mindful, really kind, imagine how much bliss that is. And that just grows incrementally, moment by moment by moment. You just staying here, hanging out with your mind and having just a wonderful time in the deepest of meditation that has come to you. And again, not just the deepest of meditation, the wisdom born of those deep meditations. Mindfulness is strong, the kindness is powerful, and you can see things. It's like your headlights have been turned on, your glasses have been cleaned. There's no distortion of perception. You can see it truly, accurately. And that's where you get the inside experiences from. You get the enlightenment experiences. Simply because they're right in front of you all the time anyway. You've been just too much of a wandering mind, not being able to stay here long enough, not being able to penetrate deep enough, not being happy enough to be able to be content in this moment long enough to see its nature. And that's where all the great insights come from, and that's where you get enlightened. It's very simple. I'm wondering why you're still not enlightened. How long have I been teaching you, Gerald? How long have I been teaching you, Freddie? How long have I been teaching you ping pong? That's dear Yupa. Anyway, soon the message gets in and you have a wonderful time. It's great being a monk, a religious leader, because I'm not telling you about, if you don't follow my advice, you're going to burn in hell for eons afterwards. That's really nasty stuff. The way I teach is, just relax to the max and you'll bliss out forever. It's a much nicer way of teaching, because I get off on it as well. And it's also honest. So anyway, I've talked for an hour. So I haven't lost my ability to keep on talking forever. So now we have a break. What do you want now? Do you want questions or do you want a meditation now? Oh, no, it's not meditation. What is it now? It's supposed to be a break. Or what do you want to do?
Yeah, well, according to the schedule, it's supposed to be a break. So a break for 15 minutes. It's quite long. But anyway, I'm not going to change anything. After the break, it will be 9:45, and then there will be a meditation section.
Okay. Does anybody want to ask any questions in the meantime?
If anyone want to ask questions, you can go to the Q&A form, and there is a Q&A section in the afternoon.
Okay.
So I think it's better to
wait for that. Oh, okay. I can see a chat box. Let's have a look what's in the chat box. Oh no, please send your questions. Okay, nothing really much there. Okay.
Yeah, so, 15 minutes break, and then we'll have some meditation section.
Okay, I'm very happy to oblige.
Thank you,
if anybody wants to say anything in the meantime, I'll still be here because I don't need a break.
Sadhu, sadhu,
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. This is water, not tea. Okay, is that helpful? Okay.
Excellent.
Oh, thank you, Gerald. I know you always say that. I know I got one of the followers over here, Nicholas. Every time I give a talk, so that was excellent. That was amazing. That was wonderful. If he ever said that was a terrible talk, I think I'll die of shock. You're just so nice and so kind. Excellent. So, where is Della? She gone off to the toilet or something?
She's here.
Okay. Was that okay for your birthday, Della?
Freddie, I think you need to unmute her.
I've allowed everyone to unmute already.
Yeah.
I'm okay on my birthday. I'm
Okay.
still alive.
Well, sometimes you don't know because even ghosts can talk, you know.
I know. I'm talking to you now, and
Yeah,
you're talking to me too. We're
Yeah, so-
talking to each other.
There's two ghosts communicating.
Yeah. Thank you, Ajahn.
Okay, very good. Okay, so while I'm here doing nothing much, maybe a time to tell some jokes, Gerald.
Ajahn, please.
Please do.
Okay, there were these two vultures, and the two vultures, because times have changed, instead of migrating by flying to the warmer climates, they decided to take an aircraft, to travel in a plane. So they booked their tickets, and when they checked in at the airport, then they had some luggage. Then the customs said, "What's in the luggage?" I said, "No, sir, some dead animals which were killed on the road. That's our lunch." And they said, "Okay, you're vultures. That's what vultures eat. So yeah, you can take it with you. Do you want to check it in?" And they said, "No, it's carry on." I don't know if you laugh. There's a trouble because carry on is the name for dead animals. Okay, did that work?
Yes. Very
Okay.
good. Very good.
Okay. Have you got any new jokes over there in Hong Kong?
Not really.
Yeah,
Not really.
but of course, I think you do know the COVID joke. I said it in many talks. Why don't ants get COVID? You know that one, Gerald? Why don't ants get COVID?
Yeah, I heard this one from your last talk last week, I think.
Okay, yeah.
But I'm not going to
Help you.
ruin it. I let people,
I can think about it.
Yes.
And the answer is because they've all got little antibodies. Antibodies. Okay, it's silly jokes, but anyway.
Jennifer from Penang got it. You can read her answer in the chat box.
Okay.
Well done, Jennifer.
You get a special prize. You get muted. Okay. What's the next joke? Why, when you stand on a boat, the divers, if you ever notice, it's weird. When the divers are wearing their wetsuits and whatever else they're wearing, and they always jump in backwards. Why do divers always jump in backwards? And the answer is because if they jumped in forward, they'd land on the boat. It's a silly joke. But I got that from one of my monks, Venerable Sunyo, who starts to tell jokes on retreats. Is it okay for monks to tell jokes?
Of course.
It's great, isn't it? Because sometimes, if you look at it, sometimes even the Buddha told funny stories. Remember when he was walking with his attendant, Ananda, and they saw the Jains in that tradition standing on one leg all day watching the sun. What are you doing that for? And they said, because we've done lots of bad karma. This is our way of wearing off the bad karma. And the Buddha turned around to Ananda and said, you see, we Buddhists have far less bad karma than those Jains. We don't have to do that. We're much better people. It was putting down those people, but that's a bit mean. But nevertheless, it showed that there was a sense of humor there. And that's the one thing about Zoom talks. You try and tell a joke, and you don't know whether it goes down well or not. The other thing which I found difficulty with is even live talks when people are wearing masks. Because when they're wearing masks, you tell a joke and you don't know what their mouth is doing inside the mask. Sometimes they may be groaning, oh, that's terrible. Or sometimes they're laughing and you can't see.
Freddie, please unmute everyone so that Ajahn Brahm will know that whether they're listening to his jokes.
They're already allowed to unmute themselves already.
Oh, really?
Okay. I don't want to. Okay.
Would you like to take a break, Ajahn Brahm? Are you okay?
I'm okay, yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Thank you for letting me speak.
So good to see you, even virtually.
Yeah. One thing which I learned as a monk years and years ago, look, we got another one, joke for cat lovers. Dear Yupa, ping pong. Human feeding a dog. The dog is thinking, she feeds me every day and cares for my every need. She must be a god. Human feeding a cat. The cat is thinking, she feeds me every day and cares for my every need. I must be a god. The difference between cats and dogs. We don't know exactly how cats feel. We know some of those cats, they seem to be wiser. I know I like cats, but cats seem to be a little bit more special than dogs. Because of that, once we had this cat who was born in Bodhinyana Monastery, and the only time it'd been out of the monastery was to go to the vet, just a few kilometers outside of Bodhinyana Monastery, to get monasticized, so it wouldn't have any kittens. But then I loved that cat. It was always very smart. Then one day that we decided, the whole Sangha decided, we'd have to find that cat a home in Perth City because it was killing too many native wildlife. So I didn't like doing this, but I had to. I picked up the cat, put it in a bag, cloth bag. It could breathe okay, but it couldn't see anything. And I put it in, it trusted me. That's what I felt. I shouldn't have done that. But anyway, we put it in the place in the car where your feet go, in the back seat. So I couldn't see anything at all. And the lovely lady took it all the way to a beachside suburb, about 8 kilometers to the west of our Nollamara Center. And after 3 days, she let the cat out into the yard, thinking that you'll be used to the place now. She was very kind and fed the cat very well. But that cat just ran to the gate, ran underneath it and disappeared down the road, ran really fast. And this poor lady got in her car and tried to find it, couldn't find it anywhere. And she looked around for that cat for a couple of hours. And then she gave it up for lost. And she called me. I was on duty that weekend at our Nollamara Center. And she said, the cat's disappeared. It'll probably go back to Bodhinyana Monastery, maybe, if you can find the way. But never been out of the monastery before. But anyway, it was a much smarter cat than that. Because when the lady called me on the phone, I said, no need to worry. It's with me here in Nollamara. It made us 8 kilometers in 2 hours. I'd never been in the city before. And how the heck it found me. Well, must have come almost in a straight line over the freeway, a very hot day. It came straight to me. I could never figure out how that cat could have found you. It didn't have GPS. It didn't have a mobile phone. You couldn't call to the AA or RAC or anything. It just came almost like in a straight line from the beachside suburb to the city centre where I was on duty. Instead of going the 90 miles or something to our Serpentine Centre. Of course, after that, that cat was allowed to come and stay at Bodhinyana Monastery for life. Eventually it died, and we actually buried it under the Bodhi tree. It's a very special cat. So you know, sometimes these animals, you can't underestimate their wisdom and their power. I couldn't have done that. Dropped you off in a strange place you've never been to before, and 2 hours to cover 8 kilometers to find somebody, you know, who could care for you. I like stories like that, stories which, you know, tell you some things which you never expected could be true.
Must be the Davis.
You can ask the cat. I'm not sure. It certainly was very nice. But it's also, again, you probably know the story as well. I think, dear, you probably will know this story about the man who went into the vet surgery, took his dog. The dog was very sick. And the veterinary surgeon looked at the dog and said, no, there's nothing I can do. Your dog is dead. It's already died. And the man said, no, he's not dead. You know, just give him a look over. I'm sure he's not dead yet. He's just very peaceful. And they said, look, it's dead. And then, look, I'll prove it to you, said the veterinary surgeon. And he got one of the cats out of the cage, and he put the cat's head just right in front of the dog's head, almost nose to nose. And the cat sort of in front of the dog. And the dog just sat there, didn't move. Then the vet took the cat to the dog's backside. I lifted up the dog's tail, and again the cat on the backside of the dog, and the dog was so still. And I turned the dog on his back and put the cat on the dog's tummy. Very sensitive area of a dog. And again, the cat would hiss, but the dog would just sit there, not responding at all. And he said, see, said the dog, said the vet, your dog is dead. And the owner of the dog said, oh yeah, I think it probably is dead, because my dog never liked cats, would never allow a cat to come close to him at all. Okay, I admit it, the dog is dead. So then the vet gave him the bill, $1,010 bill. And the owner of that's a bit steep, isn't it? $1,010 for a 2-minute examination. And the vet said, yes, it was $10 for the examination and $1,000 for the CAT scan. I'm sure you've heard that before, but it's a nice one. The CAT scan.
That's a good one.
Okay, it's 9:43. Okay, so we should get ready to do a guided meditation, I suppose.
Yes, please, Ajahn.
Okay, you okay there, Freddie? Half an hour guided meditation?
Yes, that would be great. Thanks, Ajahn.
Okay, very good. Here we go. So first of all, please make yourself lovely and comfortable. I can see Desiree there. Hi, Desiree. I haven't seen you for a while. Here we go.
Hello, Ajahn. How are you?
I am doing very, very well.
I can see that you're doing very well. You look great.
Yay. I'm coming up for I mentioned earlier, my 852nd birthday.
Oh, congratulations.
That's in months. But it sounds much more impressive as a monk, especially. You know, when you get these ancient monks, these old immortals, then that's really, really impressive. And I can't lie. So I say 852 next month, which means 71 is just a bit too ordinary. So 852 is much more interesting. And I tell that to some kids, and kids said, "Oh, really? They're only about 10." I said, "You're 120. You don't have to go to school anymore." Okay, anyway, let's get going.
Okay.
So, first thing to do, many of you are sitting on a chair. And this is, well, I'm sitting on the chair as well. I usually sit on the floor. But today, because it's online, on Zoom, sitting on a chair. Notice I'm sitting on a chair. Same preliminary part of the guided meditation. I make sure I'm aware of how my body is situated, starting with my feet. I never wear socks, even when it's really cold, because I prefer to be able to feel, the skin of the soles of my feet onto the carpets in this office where I'm giving this session. I can feel the carpet. It's got a texture which no other carpet has. I'm aware of that. My mindfulness, awareness is interested to be able to experience these sensations, because I know the more I experience them, the deeper they get and the more enjoyable they get. It's just that old poem which I often quote: to see a world in a grain of sand, see a heaven in a wildflower, hold infinity in the palm of your hand and eternity in an hour. Old poem by William Blake. It's not just a carpet my feet are on. It's really interesting, delightful. At the same time, I'm aware of my feet, and my job is just to relax it to the max. It's not actually even what I do, it's what I don't do allows it to relax. I'm taking away things, restraining things, letting things be. Relaxing to the max is another way of saying letting go to the max. Then it surprised me when I first did this that I could actually relax my feet more than when I began. Experiencing the feelings in my feet now, they feel like they've been bathed in a hot tub of water. And they just feel really at ease, healthy, free. They are relaxed to the max. And I go up my legs, my feet to my legs, because I'm sitting on a chair. The comfort of my legs depends on just where the knees are. Are they far apart or are they close together? Do the legs feel comfortable? And it's easy to find the best comfort by moving the feet forward, moving them back, moving them further apart or closer together. How do your legs feel? How can you get them as relaxed as you possibly can? They don't have to be perfectly relaxed. Just they're good enough. Much more relaxed than when I started. Because I know that once I get to that stage, the legs will relax themselves more by themselves. And then at the top of my legs, the buttocks, they're on a chair. So I have to make sure that they're comfortable. In the early days of meditation, sometimes a bit of cloth would actually bite its way into my flesh, and it would cut off blood supply and my legs would go numb. All because I never was mindful and kind enough at the beginning of the meditation to check my buttocks. And then from the buttocks to the waist, making sure that this is me, my preference is always to stretch my back when I start meditating and then let it be. So the waist is now, it's not resting on the back of my chair. It's just standing up by itself, but it feels good. In meditation, you find your own best posture, what works for you. Then I go again to the waist and start going up the body from the inside, up my digestive tract. If you had your eyes open, you would see, and I yawned then. I don't know why I yawned. I had a good sleep last night. I think it's just the body just was learning how to relax even more. And associates, just before you go to sleep, a yawn as a way of relaxing. Anyway, I'm going in the insides of my body. As I scan upwards, if ever I come across in the tummy, there's a slight discomfort, not very much. I can feel it there. And I will always pause there. Instead of just carrying on going up at the same rate, I will pause. Give that area a boost of kindness. It needs to relax more. Probably because of the breakfast I had this morning. Just needs to relax a bit more. As it relaxes some more, that tightness, that ache, I don't know what you wish to call it, is getting less and less. And it's enough now, I can leave it alone. The rest of it will disappear by itself. And move further up to the stomach and to the lungs. The heart. As I go through my body, I do relax it. You know when the body is tense and when it's relaxed. You know the difference. You become very sensitive to what relaxation is and what tension is. And you know how to bring it from tension to relaxation. What to do, which is mostly kindness. And then you can be so kind to your body. It relaxes so much. And that keeps you healthy. You know how to exercise. You know how to eat. But you know how to relax the body. This meditation teaches you how that's done. It feels really good. And then you go up to the shoulders, all the way up past whatever organs or whatever they are. You're being kind to your body. Your body's like a good friend. So you're seeing how can we make, or how can we let this body be more at ease, more relaxed. You're kind to your body, the body will be kind to you. I go to my shoulders, like these, I mentioned earlier, like muscles, like groups of strings. Sometimes they're pulled apart under stress. I let go of pulling anything, so those muscles can relax. And you let go of the tension. Relaxation is what's left. So now my shoulders feel really at ease. Go down my arms, sweep the attention, past the elbows, past the wrists, to the hands, making sure every part of my arms and fingers and thumbs and palm of the hand, everything is at ease. Back up to the shoulders and the neck, making sure there's no tension on the neck from my head being not in the correct position. I move my head on top of the neck at this time, just to get the optimum position for my head on top of the neck. Once I feel it's in the best position, and I go to the muscles in the front of my face, around the mouth and around the eyes, around the nose. And over the years, I've learned how to relax those muscles. So nothing is tight, nothing is squeezed, nothing is stretched. Because I know that also affects my emotional world. And those muscles are at ease, and my emotions are at ease. It's a nice, as they say, segue, going from the body into the mind. Before I go into the mind, I just check one last time. All of the body as a unit, not as parts anymore, but putting everything together. How does it feel? Is there anything which I can relax? There was. My legs are still a bit tight, so I loosen them. Loosen the muscles. I don't have any fear. It's a safe place right here in the monks' quarters in Nollamara Temple. There's nothing to worry about. That allows the body to relax even more. I don't have to be on watch, afraid that something might happen. And then I go into the mind. How peaceful am I right now? It's very peaceful. How peaceful are you? And what does that peace feel like? And how does it get stronger and deeper? Try present moment awareness. Everything which happened in the past, and all those past 26 years you have lived, Stella, it's all gone now. All the future being made right now. To learn to be peaceful in this moment. And relax to the max in the present moment. Don't hold the present moment tight, like squashing it in your grip. Just using the same metaphor, just allowing it to rest on your open hand, on your metaphor. Let the present moment be. Be a friend to the present moment. It's a nice place to be. No need to go anywhere or cure anything. Care for the present moment. It's a delightful place to hang out in the now. It allows you to relax. You don't have to tense up your muscles to do things. In the present moment, if you can, be silent. No need to describe anything in words. So if you can develop the ability to know without saying something, to be mindful without giving a commentary. Just to be peaceful. Now, there are many other stages of meditation or objects you can be aware of, but let them come to you now. You have done the beginning part of the meditation, the best part. Now, be quiet. Be in this moment and see how it changes. The more still you are, the more that some things will disappear, and the peace, the clarity, the joy will get stronger and stronger. At the end of the meditation, I will let you know it's a time to come out. At the moment, just be here to the max. Don't go anywhere. Be still. Be kind. And enjoy the ability to relax deeper than you've ever done before. I will now be quiet. But it's getting close to the end of the meditation now. Do not open your eyes yet. Just to know how you feel. As best you can know it. How different are you now than when you started this meditation? How much stronger is that sense of peace inside your mind? Can you feel that sense of peace being delightful? How does your body feel right now? Does your body feel just so relaxed? Can you feel the health benefits even after such a short meditation of 30 minutes? You feel the body being at ease, allowing healing to happen. I have not got a goal here, so I'll just go Gong, gong, gong. As a sign it's time to come out from the meditation. Thank you for participating.
Sadhu,
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 sadhu, sadhu.
Very good.
So see you all at 3.
Yes.
Yeah.
3 o'clock again.
Please.
We say on the schedule is sutta session / Q&A session. So I'm not sure if Ajahn, you have prepared any suttas or you want to talk about other things. So it's up to you.
Well, it's Desari's birthday. What does Desari want?
It's not necessary. It's my birthday.
It is Stella's birthday today.
Oh, sorry, not Desari. Yeah, Stella's birthday. Sorry.
It's up to you, Ajahn, because it's also your 850th birthday. So
Oh,
yeah.
I'll just give a talk instead of.
Thank you.
Heather.
Thank you.
You happy with that?
Yes, of course, anything.
Okay, great. I will do that then.
Thank you. Have a good lunch.
Yeah, I will always do. I'll try not eat too much.
Yeah.
Okay. See you all later. Bye.
See you
you.
later.
See you
Bye.
later. Sadhu,
Thank
sadhu,
you.
sadhu.
Sadhu,
Sadhu,
Thank you very
sadhu.
much.
Thank you, Ajahn.
See you.
Thank you. Take care.
Thank you, Ajahn.
Will do, yes. Bye-bye.
Thank you,
Thank you,
everyone.
Ajahn.
Bye.
I'm going to mute myself.
Bye-bye.
You.
I'll
Okay.
stop the meeting now.
Yeah.